Okay, so I wasn't really quite sure how to start with this video. I was asked to do a video on this topic, and it actually struck a chord with me that I was like, I really need to do this. Yeah, so I didn't write down anything for this video. I'm going to try to be as candid as possible. It is a little bit of a touchy subject because there's still a little bit of hurt there, or I don't even know if I'd say hurt, but some of the thought process that goes behind what transpired and why is something that I honestly think I'm still trying to figure out. So without being all aloof or whatever, I'm just going to start this video. Thank you for stopping by, and subscribe if you like videos like this, because I try to do some good chit chats with you all. I want to build relationships here. I'm not just here for any trivial reason. I enjoy this, and I want to help and just make people feel like they're part of a community. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we're talking about workplace drama, gossip, and different things like that. I think we all have dealt with that, or most of us have dealt with it in one way or another. It doesn't have to be in the workforce. It can be in your private, personal life as well, with friendships or what have you. But I am a cosmetologist, and I have been for over a dozen years. And so I feel like a lot of people associate, let me just take a side note here, because I really feel like my hair, I don't even know, guys. So I have really been trying to be natural. I'm not even brushing my hair these days. And the reason for that is I'm just trying to really let it do its own thing. If I have any natural texture besides this boring texture, then I want to find it. And I think it's working because you can't really see it, but I have a few pieces that, where'd he go? Anyway, I have a few pieces of hair that are actually really curly underneath there, and I feel like I have some wave, and I just always flatten it or curl it or whatever, and I really just want to see what my natural hair does and is capable of doing. So bear with me if you see me on videos and you're like, she is getting lazy with her hair. It's like, yes I am, so don't hate. Try to make it healthy here. Anyway, so if I'm touching my hair a lot, I'm sorry, but and that also just reminded me of my 2-year-old, because he's always, I don't like it. Anyway, talking about workplace drama and things like that, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Back when I was in my early 20s, I started at the salon that I'm at now. And when you first start at a job, if you're lucky enough to, they'll all greet you. You're getting acclimated. You're finding out, the way that things are done, how they do it different from where you've already been, and all that jazz. So that was how I first started. I was welcomed with open arms, and I felt just really lucky and intimidated, because I was working with a dozen girls that were drop dead gorgeous and have their lives together. And so to walk into that at the age of 20 and just taking that all in and hoping for that for yourself, it's a lot. So when they all welcomed me, I felt so happy. So then you have this honeymoon phase, and then you start to get into your rhythm or your daily mojo, whatever you want to call it. And so what that looked like for me was I was trying to build my clientele, and I'm self-employed, so of course the dollars meant a lot to me. I wanted to make money. I was there to make money. And so I think that really showed. I would sweep up my hair, but I didn't empty the trash, or I would eat my lunch in the back and take care of my dishes, but I wouldn't wash my dishes, or little stupid things like that. And I just felt like I've made my dollars, I've chit-chatted with my friends, I'm out, and I would leave. And so I think certain things that I did were definitely annoying. Looking back and having young people come into the salon now, and now like I'm established, I can see how certain things are just annoying, especially if you've been there and you have your own way of doing things, and someone comes in and they're like, I would never call myself lazy because I worked like 50 plus hours a week at that time, but I took shortcuts in the side stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. And so obviously that started to play out, and then added on top of that, I would go to the back table, and if they were like venting about something that happened to them, then I honestly felt like I had to be included, and so like I would try to vent, but the only thing I really like had to complain about was like if someone didn't show up for their appointment. So again, it was looking like I was money hungry. And so as things transpired, I started to get approached by a couple of the senior girls, and they corrected me, I think, as gently as they could have, but of course my feelings were very hurt. Then flash forward, I'm getting married, and I have tunnel vision. You talk to your clients, and your clients are so excited for you, and they're like, what are your colors, and how many bridesmaids do you have, and do you plan on taking a honeymoon? And so like you're just like engulfed in this excitement. It's your personal life, it's your private life, and then it's your work life as well. And so I went with it, and nothing wrong with that. You're getting married, and it's exciting, and it's great. But I think it did add insult to injury because of the previous things that I stated. So then I had a couple of the workers that were not so nice. And let me also say that some of these people like are not there anymore. Like, I'm not talking, like, for those of you that like know me and know the girls that I work with, like, don't assume like that it's someone standing next to me. There were a couple girls that would that had come up to me, and they were not so nice. And one of them told me that nobody liked me, that I was selfish, that everyone knows it and everyone talks about it. And so, like, for me, like, I put on a straight face. And I said, I'm sorry that you feel this way. I don't know what to tell you except I'm sorry. I would never want to hurt your feelings. I would never want to. And there was also like some side stuff going on that I don't need to get into. But the words that really just like stuck out to me was, everybody says it. Everybody knows it. Everyone knows how you are. And it's like, what are people talking about me, like, behind my back? And I thought like everything was cool. Like, I thought this was squashed. I thought, everything was great. And this person's telling me that nobody likes me. And that was hard. I had essentially spent, I think at the time, like almost 5 years working with some of these people. And to hear the words like, nobody likes you, everyone thinks this. I was crushed. And I had immense anxiety to go back to work. And I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have gone back to work. But I had worked hard to get where I was, and I loved my clients and I loved my job. So I knew I had to just keep showing face. But I literally had diarrhea because my stomach was so upset. And I would go to work, and it was just, I kept my head down. I didn't know if it was true, if people really didn't like me, or if this was said in the heat of the moment because it was, an angry lash out kind of comment. So I didn't want to make anything worse. So I just tried to like keep to myself. And so flash forward, things have changed dramatically. Like I said, some of the people that used to work there don't work there. Some of the people that used to work there do work there. And I feel like we've all grown up together. We've had life, death, marriages, divorces, just so many situations happen. We've really grown up together. And when you're with someone more than you're with your family, you're gonna annoy each other. So like, I think that's a huge thing to say, is like, it's so normal to encounter things that just kind of irk you. And I did want to be included so badly. So there were times that I would participate in the gossip. And not even putting it together, like how bad that feels, how I felt. Because I thought it was more minor, you know? I would listen, but I wouldn't talk badly about someone, if that makes sense. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm not a part of this because nobody can be like, well, Megan said this and Megan. But I also understand that not sticking up for someone that's being talked about is just as bad. You're not helping the situation at all. You're adding fuel to the fire because they know you want to know what's going on. You're standing right there with your eyes popping out of your head like that. Of course, like everyone can tell exactly what's going on. You're not just like, oh, I don't want to hear. It's like, what? And then what happened? Like, what? And you're a part of it. You all of a sudden become like a part of all of this. How do you keep your nose clean? How do you just like stay out of it or stick up for those that need to be stuck up for? And I think honestly, I was thinking about this, like what has changed between 20-year-old Megan versus 35-year-old Megan. And I think it's a confidence in yourself. Like, I thought I had confidence back when I was 20, 25, whatever. Like, I thought I had confidence because I could make myself look a certain way, because I had enough clients, because I made a certain dollar amount of money, because I had friends. But then as you get older, it's like that stuff isn't what gives you your confidence. Yes, it helps, but my confidence doesn't come from that. My confidence comes from the fact that I'm secure in where I am in life. You know, I have faith, and that's like a huge thing to know, like your confidence. Like if everyone talked bad about you and I felt exactly the way that I did that day, I would know that God would never do that to me. And I know it doesn't feel like the same thing, like to be able to call someone up and say and cry on their shoulder, but like you can do that with God. Like, so I think like that's huge confidence in knowing that I'm a child of God and He's not gonna think that I'm, you know, a dirtbag. Then also being a mom and just like not having time for it. It's like I have to be okay with who I am because I don't have time to worry about it. I don't have time for any of that. I know what I like and what I don't like, and I'm not going to be swayed because of fear of acceptance or not being accepted, I should say. So I think confidence is huge in handling it, and it's really hard to walk away. I still I want to know what's going on with the girls, and I don't consider it a lot of the time gossip when we're like a family and we're talking about, you know, what's going on. But there's this like line that I think I need to be more aware of like, okay, am I looking out for someone and trying to hear what's going on so I can better be there for them? Or am I just wanting to know, you know, what I missed because I was out? And there's a difference. And I'm not saying all gossip is like slander. Like there's plenty of times that we talk about someone that's been out and it's not like, I can't believe she did this or anything like that, but it's talking about someone that's not there. So there's shaky ground there. There's shaky ground there, and you have to find your own footing. But that's kind of where I'm at. I just feel like, you know, God and confidence and like knowing who we are is huge in not like participating in some of the workplace drama, and just like really reevaluating at times. You know, if you have 5 people that tell you, hey, you know, you're always late. And you're like, no, I'm not. It was just this one time. It's like, no, if multiple people are telling you you're always late, then you're always late. There's also that, like, where can you improve? Don't just be like, you know, you're just like talking bad about me. I don't need to accept it. It's like, well, okay, so all that being said, I don't know what the answer is to solve this problem. I think this problem is probably going to just always be around, but I think there are definitely things that we can do to stick up for those that are more vulnerable, and not even necessarily the super vulnerable, but the people that don't know that they're doing anything wrong. I really didn't know. I was just kind of clueless and starting, and I think a lot of people at their young stage of life are more selfish, and I think that the people that surround us can help us or hurt us. And so I am very fortunate in the sense that the people that were around me were helpers. They were definitely able to guide me a little bit and show me what is a little bit more selfless. I did, like I said, I did have those like confrontations with some people that maybe didn't have an idea of how to approach me, but to be very aggressive, and who knows what was going on in their personal life. You know, you have to take that into consideration too. I feel like I'm always trying to remember that, because I get really, like, your impulse is to be mad about certain things, and then that just like spews everything on, and it just takes, because then I would then go and try to take that with me and tell someone else, like, this person did this to me, can you believe that? And it's like, that's just taking the gossip that was victimizing you and bringing it back and then turning it into gossip that's victimizing someone else. And so that is really hard, because you want to like have someone agree with you and say like, that's just not true, they're really crazy because they said that. That's, you know, but like, again, like, the confidence that comes from God is like, you don't need a person to validate your feelings or validate what you know to be true about yourself. If you know that you know that you know, you don't need someone else to come and tell you like, you're a good person, you're not selfish, you didn't do anything. Like, you don't need that. So like, honestly, I really think like the cure to like being so hurt by gossip is to just like have a really strong confidence and faith of like knowing who you are and who loves you, and that is God, and everything else can kind of just, you know, be added after that point. So that's kind of where I'm taking that. It's a hard subject. This subject gets me like all amped up and like stressed, and like making me feel the feelings that I felt before. It hurts. It's not easy to hear things about yourself. At one point, this girl came up to me, and I thought she was a good friend, and she was upset about something, and she got like 4 inches from my face, and she looked me square in the eye with such anger, almost hate, and she just was like, you are fake. You are fake. You smile all the time, and this and that. And it's like, at that point, it's like, no, I'm just happy. Like, I don't need your approval to be happy. I don't. So, and you don't need to be mean about it and say something like really like combative, like, I don't need you, I don't like, but like, you get a peace when you know like, okay, I'm a child of God, I have my ducks in a row, I work hard, I know what I'm doing in my world, and if you want to be a part of it, then cool, but if you think I'm fake, then I'm sorry you do, but you know, I like to smile, and I'm happy with myself, and that's all. So that's all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for swinging by my channel, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, friends.